I have just found out the secret to SEO. I found out how to get straight to number one. The trick was hidden. You'll never guess where I found this simple trick that will instantly, like click of the fingers, get you to number one. I found it in this book. I mean, hidden in plain view. It was in the big book of trains. I mean, okay, look, seriously. If you believe that kind of thing, then there's something wrong with your SEO mindset. In this episode of the Business Amplifier Podcast, we are going to be speaking to Fabio Lida, who is going to share more information about why what is in here has a big impact on where you go up there. I don't mean heaven, I mean Google rankings. So watch on. My name's Andrew Lord. I just hit the microphone, and this is the Business Amplifier Podcast. Let's get on with it. Hey. So, Fabio, SEO, it's such hard work. Why is it so hard? I've had enough. Why do I have to keep fighting Google? So, Fabio, if I actually had that mindset as a business owner, how much trouble would I be in?
Oh, quite a lot of trouble.
Quite a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
So that mindset's bad, isn't it? So today we're going to talk about 3 reasons your mindset is damaging your SEO. And we have Fabio here. So Fabio, what is reason number 1 that your mindset is damaging your SEO?
Reason number 1 is that SEO is not about tricking Google. It's all about actually giving the users the best value. And I still see it day by day that there are quite a lot of SEOs or people practicing tricking Google into thinking stuff or hiding texts or spamming and stuffing keywords, and somehow people still are ranking, and then they think it's because of that. And I would say it's more they are ranking even though they are doing some
despite those things. Yeah, in spite of them. I think some people still rank even with this junk if they're in a really thin niche. So if they're hardly any competitors, or if your competitors' websites are just bits of lipstick on a napkin instead of proper websites, then you're probably going to rank whatever you do. But yeah, on the whole, stop tricking, stop being tricksy. Good advice, Fabio.
And maybe it's also a bit because of or maybe sometimes it's because of authority as well, because authority is like so high, so they can. Google has a pretty big tolerance, and despite of doing stupid stuff like this or trying to trick Google, they think they're tricking Google, but actually the authority is really high.
Absolutely true. I mean, you cannot trick Google. The one thing that I say is that Google don't move the goalposts. You know, quite often I get people say, "Oh, how do you keep up with Google? They keep changing the rules." They don't change the rules. They just get better at being able to tell the difference between a chocolate bar and a dog poo.
Yeah. That's a very, very good comparison.
It works. People remember those kind of things. No one's ever as sad about standing in a chocolate bar as they are about standing in a dog poo.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show the world of SEO can be surprising. So listen to this podcast more often. Like, subscribe, and all that. So that's great. Where do you think these myths originate from? Because I can't believe they're still around. I've been doing this since last century.
Well, to be honest, I think that there is so much knowledge that is just being recycled and not being added with new knowledge. So it's just I heard it and then I repeat it, and and then every year somebody repeats it, and then it seems to be most recent knowledge, but it's actually like from 2010 or so. And to be honest, it's not even working anymore. And then people keep stuffing keywords and putting keywords in H1s and then display none or same color as background, stuff like this. And they really think that Google is still stupid and doesn't get it.
Come on, cut it out, you lot of people. You know who you are. If you're watching this or listening to this, you know who you are. Cut it out, right? For the betterment of everybody. Right, so that's mindset number 1. Mindset of, hey, I'm a trickster. Bin that. Get rid of that. Great advice, Fabio. So mindset thing number 2, what is it?
So what I still see quite often is that people follow the one keyword, one page formula.
Tell me more.
And in the end, I think the base of it is true, but you should do one page for one search intent. So if like the search intent between different keywords is exactly the same, or let's say over 80% the same, you can stick with just one content piece. No matter if it's like, I don't know, location page, blog post, whatever, a guide, you just keep putting like the alternative keywords as well. You pick one main keyword, and Google by now is pretty good at understanding like the context, and understanding that two different ways of writing or formulating something, it's like basically the same thing.
It's not quite tricking Google, but I think it's, if you optimize one page for one keyword, it's kind of missing the point that Google, all they want to see is authority and usefulness. And it's not natural to, if you were selling pens, you would probably also talk about paper. You'd probably also talk about what they're made of. You'd talk about lots of other things that go beyond just the word pen. And ultimately, the reason I like this mindset suggestion of yours, Fabio, is that if you do try and write a page just for one keyword, it's not going to be very interesting to read. And if it's not very interesting to read, Google will see all these people visiting your website and going, nah, this is no good, and then leaving again. And that doesn't look good.
That's true. And I also think that especially regarding keyword cannibalization is a big issue, where you have like different ways of writing, and then you have like 5 blog posts that have basically exact the same content, and then because you get lazy, you stop formatting them, you stop putting the extra effort in each of those articles, and then you have like 5 articles that are mediocre to say, and instead of one good content piece.
So can you just explain cannibalization a little bit further?
Sorry, the connection was really
that's okay. I was saying, I was going to ask you to explain cannibalization, but I think you did it quite nicely. The way I explain it to people is, quite often we'll work with a new client, and let's stick with pens for now, just because my imagination's not doing well today. I'm holding a pen, so I'm going to talk about pens. If I was a pen seller and I wrote 10 pages about cheap pens, Google's going to look at those 10 pages and go, what are you playing at? I don't understand. Which one of those is the ones that we should rank? I tell you what, we're not going to rank any of them. So one of the first things we do with any website we work on is we look for keyword cannibalization. It's literally like you've got one page eating the other. And quite often we just combine them. Because if you're talking about very slightly different nuance around your primary topic, take the best bits of all those pages and make one mega page, one absolute killer, astonishing page, and create redirects from the other ones there. So number 2 was a corker there. We need to move on. We're whizzing through this because this is all good things that I want to go into the minds of our viewers and listeners. What is number 3? This is my favorite. What is number 3, Fabio?
Number 3 is that you should not keep checking your scores every day. Because scores go up and down, and I think the important thing is that you see that over a period of weeks and months, the tendency is rising. And it's completely normal that sometimes you fall out of the top 3 position and you have to get back from 4th or 5th position. Just be patient. Maybe if you keep dropping or don't climb up again, check what the competition is doing, what are they doing better, and do the same and maybe even better than them. And then you should just not get crazy about falling scores. There can be Google core updates, there can be spam updates, there could be whatever, and just focus on good content, quality content, and providing value, and then in the end you will be the one standing on the top.
This is my favorite of all your suggestions around mindset and SEO, because something I've seen people do in the past is they see a drop by 1 or 2 places, and that means nothing. Even if you're at number 1 and drop to 3, it means nothing, because all the rank trackers are just giving us an average ranking. And it's not even done with humans. Ranking results, when people search for things in Google, the ranks they see are impacted by their location, by the other things they've searched for, by many, many things. So if you have a knee-jerk reaction to a slight drop in rankings, most people will then go, we've got to make significant changes to the website. Don't do that, because these little ranking hiccups happens so often that your website will end up an absolute mess. So I like that, Fabio. Take Fabio's advice. Be chill. Stick with your strategy. Believe in yourself. Believe in your powers.
Very nicely said.
I didn't really give you anywhere to go with that, did I?
Right. That's perfectly summarized.
So if somebody's listening or watching this and they're thinking, yeah, I'm busy, I'm trying to let the words go in, but there's only one thing I can remember. If such a person exists, what's the one thing you want anyone who's watched or listened to this to remember when they move on with their lives after we stop talking?
Regarding SEO?
Just regarding mindset and SEO, is what's the one thing out of those three? What's the one thing you really want people to remember?
I would say keep going with value and quality, and this is gonna bring you the furthest.
Keep on the good fight, people. You heard it from Fabio. So thank you to Fabio Lichter for that. That was absolutely great. I particularly like this episode because a lot of talk around SEO is very technical. And for people involved in marketing or business owners, that technical kind of talk is important, but it can become quite distracting. I think you need to start with mindset and SEO, and the three things that Fabio gave us are great. We talked and jumped around a little bit there, so I'm going to give you again the number one mindset thing that might undermine your SEO is thinking about tricking Google, thinking that's where the focus is. The second one, creating pages that only target one keyword. What's that? Don't do it. It's the mindset. Don't do it. And the third one, stop checking your rankings. Honestly, it's too much. It's too much. You've got better things to do. Trust yourself. Trust your strategy. Right, there you go. This was a nice, simple SEO episode. Please let me know if you like it. Please let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. Thanks again to Fabio. Make sure you check the show notes to find out how you can contact him and have him work his absolute magic on your website. And it only remains for me to say, I'm Andrew Laws. This is the Business Amplifier Podcast. We remove your marketing distortion. So tell all your friends.